anybody catch Peter doing those weird mouth sounds?
Was that me?
During the intro, yes.
That was the mic being moved.
No, it was weird mouth sounds. Plus you like touching it and moving it around.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, cool Easter egg for the next time somebody watches this. Hi, everybody.
What's going on, guys? Welcome. welcome. Good to see everybody in the chat already popping off.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one tonight. Welcome to another episode of Attack the Block. Print. I always feel like I have to print. At the, which comes to you live every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, with your boy Attack Peter and his lovely wife.
Yeah, boy. What are you talking about yourself in the third person? Every show he does something unnecessary. Like last time he claimed that you were his favorite artist.
That I was whose?
You were that you were like everybody's favorite artist. You're like your favorite print artist here.
I wish I could say I did it on purpose, but I'm liking the fact that you were going to correct me on it. So now I'm going to try to think about things to introduce.
That's fine.
But anyway,
oh god,
Gaby's here.
Hi.
And we had an awesome show. We got a lot to talk about. I'm making a brand new carving and print of Ghostface. If you haven't seen it yet, here's a sneak peek.
And I think it was a longtime friend of the show, Colt, who asked us for Ghostface. I'm pretty sure it was him. Colt, I know you're here. Remind everybody if it was you who gave us. I mean, we probably would have done this one anyway because we're such huge fans of Scream. But I feel like last week he left the comment that said Ghostface, and it just planted the seed.
Look at Haidar in the chat trying to act like he came up with the phrase "with your boy." Bro, what are you, a time traveler, dude? Do you think you invented that shit? Bro, he's using my catchphrase. What's up? Haidar, bro. Go brew sake and stop drinking so much of it.
Aw, come on. Don't be rude.
That's it. Go.
No, Haidar's our favorite.
No, we love
Leave him
Haidar.
alone.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Haidar is one half of the Shoujo. What is it now? Shoujo Beer Company, or is it Shoujo?
No, the bar is Shoujo's Dojo.
I know that.
And then it's
Miami.
Shoujo Beer Co. I think
Shoujo
is
Beer
the name
Co.
of the. Right?
Well, the most important thing about Haidar is that he masterminded the Wonton Triple Beer and the Rise of Takoro Beer that we launched during the Patreon. So the man is a legend. He's incredible.
He is indeed.
But he did not fucking come up with a term. You with your boy. Stupid ass. Anyway, so yeah. Hey, what's up to everybody in the chat? I see Bosco, Silver K, Aired Out, Saint, John Blue. We talked about Haidar for too long. Rich is here. The archive Raph.
Way too long.
Sending Raph our love. How you doing, man? We got to catch up. And it's going to be a fun one. Gabby pulled out some fun stories to talk about. What are we talking about tonight?
We have a lot. Well, like I've mentioned already for the last 5 weeks, we will be talking about Ahsoka.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched episode 5 yet, sorry. You'll have to just tune out of us unless you want to get spoiled. Let's see. What else? We're going to be talking about aliens. There's some news about aliens.
Alien bodies.
So we'll be talking about aliens. We'll be talking about the new iPhone. We're definitely going to be talking about the movie Scream and our favorite slasher Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We've got a lot of news in horror tonight. Like
trailers.
a lot. We are. It's officially spooky season as we are a little bit over a month out from Halloween. Yeah. So spooky, everything is like popping off right now.
Yep. So excited about that. We'll get to all that fun stuff and more. But before we do, a little Patreon update, little housekeeping.
Little one.
If you, first of all, shout out to everybody on the Patreon. We're gonna have to make a point of
oh
this
my
weekend.
God, I forgot again.
Yeah, so make it. Do you have your phone?
Yes, I'm gonna make
an alarm right now, and so we can make that. We're gonna make the credits, Patreon credits, on our YouTube.
I will make that tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. And so we're gonna do that, but specifically, our second watch party is happening this Sunday night.
Sunday.
And we're still doing 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay, Sunday 8:30 p.m. The vote on as to what we watch is happening live right now in the Patreon.
It is. I put up a poll like a couple of hours ago, maybe.
And it's only for Patreon members, obviously.
No. You mean it's? I thought you said only 4 people had voted. I'm like, no, there's been a lot of voting already.
The votes are only open to, and right now, currently, with 74% of the vote, Starship Troopers is the #1 choice because everybody said they wanted to watch a sci-fi movie this week. And so we put it up for vote, and Starship Troopers is beating out Predator 2.
I'm not surprised because Starship Troopers is a vibe, and it's actually funny. Like, at least
super funny.
I remember it being like very intense but funny.
And the best way to do these watch parties is not to pick like necessarily the best all-time movie.
Right, exactly.
Instead, to pick the best movie that we can like half watch and talk shit about and like just, you know.
Yeah.
So Starship Troopers is looking like it's going to be this one, and that's a fun one. That's a fun one. So it's available on Netflix, right?
Yes.
So if we end up going that way, you know what we're watching. You should hang out. But the other reason you might want to be tuning in on Sunday is Sunday night we're doing our first ever giveaway.
Yes.
So if you've been paying attention,
the first ever?
The first ever.
God, that's right. Well, the first
Patreon.
Ever for Patreon.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you've been paying attention, obviously every one of these streams, I do a brand new carving and print. They're not necessarily IP that I can sell in my store or anything like that. So instead of doing that, we've just made the idea was that we're just going to do giveaways of the prints on our Patreon once a month. Yeah, once a month.
On the last Sunday watch party of the month.
Yes, which ends up being this Sunday. Yeah. Yes. The second watch party of the month. Yeah. And so we're going to do the giveaway this weekend. You don't have to be watching to win if we pick your name. Correct.
We've decided that you don't necessarily have to attend the watch party. You just have to be signed up
as a Patreon subscriber.
As a patron by this Sunday.
Yeah, before we pull
before I pull the list. So like the Sunday of the watch party, I'm gonna pull the list of patrons, and those are the only people who will be eligible to win.
Yes.
So make sure that you sign up before Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'll send out an email and all that stuff. So the way that it's gonna work is we're gonna watch the movie, but are we going to do it before we watch the movie?
Yeah, we should do it before.
Okay, so before...
For some people, it'll be late.
Before we start watching the movie, we will pool the 4 winners. Yeah. If you're there in the watch party, you will get your chance to pick what you want.
Yeah, in other words, you don't have to be there to win, but if you're there, you're going to get priority on choice. So like if the first person that wins isn't there, the second person that wins gets their first pick.
Right.
So ultimately, you'll get moved down in terms of what you get to pick.
Right.
Like you can't reserve stuff or anything. It's not fair.
No.
So just so you guys know, that's how we're going to do it. And it's going to be on Sunday night, and it's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be able to pick from anything I've done so far.
Correct.
Okay.
Any of the prints that you've done on Attack the Block print so
exactly. Any of the portraits I've been doing on Attack the Block print, and
not any print ever.
No, and the other stipulation is I'm not doing multiples. So if somebody picks Wolverine first, then the next person can't pick Wolverine.
Right.
The only time that this is how I'm thinking about doing it, and I'm put it out there for you guys. The way I'm thinking about doing it is if we cross like right now.
I think we're at 50 something.
We have 53 total patrons. Oh, Colt just pledged. Thanks, Colt.
Oh, thanks, Colt.
So 54 total patrons. All right. So you have a 1 in 54 or a 4 in 54. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know the math. But the point is, when we hit 75 patrons, Gabby and I talked about it.
A second print.
Yeah, I'll do a second of any of them.
Correct.
For somebody. So, and then the way I figure we'll do it is every 25.
Right.
So if we hit 100, I'll do a third.
Okay.
Until, and this is important, the block sells.
Oh yeah, if the block sells, sorry.
Yeah,
so sorry, too bad.
Well, it's limited, right?
Well, yeah.
And it incentivizes and rewards the people who have been here for longer, et cetera, whatever. But anyway, the point is, I am going to be putting up the blocks for sale for Patreon members only in the Patreon store. And if you want to buy one of these blocks, that's going to be the only way to do it. Each block will come with 1 print, and so at the time, like let's say somebody buys a block this week before we hit 75 patrons, the block and the print and the giveaway print are the only ones.
Are the only ones that will be there.
The only ones that will ever be made.
Yes. Anyway, we'll make it easy for you. Don't worry about it.
The point is, I know that sounds like a lot.
You're overloading them with information.
Am I?
I'm already overloaded with information, and I'm the one who came up with this idea.
I just want it to be clear.
It's okay. We'll do all of the nitty gritty details as we release stuff. But all you need to know for right now is that on Sunday we're doing the giveaway. You'll get to choose from any of the small 5x7 prints that Peter has done so far on Attack the Block print show, and it's only one available of each. So if you're not there, you will not get first dibs pick. That's it. That's all. Right. But yeah. So we'll see. And if you haven't voted yet in the poll, go ahead and vote on what movie you want to watch on Sunday. Right now, I think Starship Troopers is leading, which is great for me. But Predator 2 is also there. And what was the other one? Doom. Which is also a great watch because it's so bad.
Hey, real quick, mute the mics for a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Top secret.
Secret announcement in the background.
Yeah. So another thing we can say is that we're looking to drop something in the shop for Patreon subscribers only.
Yes.
And it's going to be very limited.
Yes.
And you're going to want to be paying attention if you're a Patreon subscriber on Friday.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say right now. I'm not going to say anything else.
Friday morning, there will be an announcement for Patreon members.
At some point.
No, I'm going to schedule it for Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday morning, you're going to get a notification about a Patreon exclusive item that's going up for sale only for Patreon members.
Yeah, there you go.
So just FYI on that one.
So anyway, Patreon is a good thing.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on.
By the way, I forget who just said it. Oh, Jacob, wow, muting the mics is a power move. It really was.
Wasn't that cool?
I didn't mean to. It was very cool.
Jacob, you should use it, dude.
You should.
Use it.
Apparently, everyone was reading our lips, which is
good luck.
false. Absolutely false.
All right. So in that case, let me move something out of the way. The top secret.
Yes. Top secret things, but a lot of things are happening in the
works.
Most importantly, we're painting our house black right now.
Yeah.
And that's why everything is in this room.
I know.
You can't see around us, but our entire house is living in this room. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Open. Turn on. What's it called? Our art cam for a second.
You just want art cam?
Yeah. Well, no. Just saying. That's good. That screen that you're on right there. Switch it over.
Got it.
That's a good screen.
It is a good screen. I made it.
This is a good one. So that was last week's carving.
Uh-huh.
A guy who I will from here on out be referring to as Hockey Guy.
Hockey Man. We should come up with a better name for him.
Hockman.
Timothy
Hockman. Hockington. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, this guy, we did him last week, and look how cool he looks next to this week's boy. You guys, if you don't think,
are you doing this on? Is this a series? Are we doing this on purpose?
It wasn't really like set out to be that, and I still reserve the right to adjust compositions. But as of right now, tell me we shouldn't be doing like
the slasher series.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
And the next two should be facing the other way, so that if you have all four of them and you put them together, they're like looking at each other, and you in the middle. It looks like they're looking at you. Next victim.
What if it
okay,
was
sorry, I'm just coming up with a whole narrative.
What if it was just like that?
No, thank you.
No? Could I do a whole set like that?
I mean, you could, but I would not be interested in purchasing it because that's really boring.
Oh, shots fired. Anyway, so I just want to say, let's go. That was Gabby, not me. Anyway, so check it out, you guys. I'm super stoked with how these came out. And I'm really excited to get to work on the GHOSTFACE. So let's go.
Well, but first... Wow. Let's first start with the news, please.
Entertainment news.
Best intro.
It was a pretty good intro.
All right.
Anyway, we're starting with the only story that Peter wanted me to cover, which was obviously alien news. I didn't even know about this because apparently this happened while I was in school today, so I was not paying attention.
No, it was yesterday actually, and I didn't pay attention to it yesterday. I kind of saw it blurbed on my Apple aggregate news or whatever, and Mr. Alien Guy, I scoffed at it. I have to be honest.
Well, it just looks, it's kind of so basically, hold on. Let me tell the story.
Let me just preview something. You're going to tell the story. I'm going to give you my thoughts why I think it's BS and why it might not be.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to give thoughts yet. I'm just going to.
You set it up.
I'm just going to set it up.
You're setting it up.
Correct. A Mexican ufologist claims to show 2 alien corpses to Mexico's Congress. So here's what happened. This is one of said alien corpses. This, kind of famous alien researcher, I guess. He went up in front of the Mexican Congress in kind of one of these events like we just had with our own Congress.
A disclosure event.
Yeah, a disclosure event. And he has he says are 2 alien bodies, like mummified, petrified alien bodies. So I'll show you what they look like. I'm gonna,
at minimum,
he has X-rays too, as you can see in the video, that show that it really is non-human anatomy.
Remind me to talk about that specific point.
Look at the hands, whatever. Okay, you'll talk about that certain point, but let me see if I can show you the actual video of the 2 corpses. Oh no, it's not on this one. Sorry.
When you were looking at this story, did you at least
there they are
find it entertaining?
I mean, the part that's entertaining is the fact that they had these tiny little coffins made for the aliens with these like it's like very referential to the aliens. The aliens also to me look like little carvings that were made by somebody, so they don't even look real to me. They just look like something you would see at a hokey like freak show exhibit, or like a roadside exhibit of like the weird and wonderful. So that's all really it was. Also, there's something about having all of this delivered to me in Spanish that makes it even funnier. So okay, go ahead and give your thoughts.
So first of all, when I first saw the pictures, and by the way, like 5,000 people sent this to me this morning, which was such a warm and fuzzy feeling. Like everybody knows that I'm like in the friend circle, I'm the alien guy, and I love that. It's a hat I wear proudly. So everybody sent me this. I finally like Christian Harloff finally sent it to me. And when he sends it to me, I'm like, okay, maybe.
I guess we have to.
There's something potentially to just look at in this case because he's like, he's super into it now. But
by the way, a bunch of people in the chat were like, they look like old ET pinatas that are all.
Yes. Okay. So when I first saw the pictures, I was like, this is insulting how bad it is. The video where they're showing it from different angles, I didn't suddenly go.
That's what I'm playing right now.
Yeah, I didn't suddenly go, this is real. Instead I kind of was more like, well, that's more compelling. The video where you see it like from different angles, because from the front, it literally, what I thought it looked like was like entry-level ceramic sculpture, like clay sculpture, like when my middle school students would try their first clay sculpture. Okay? That's what it felt like. And so I just super scoffed. I don't think it's necessarily real. I think this guy's got a bad track record. First of all, he showed off some bodies a few years back, and it ended up being proven fake too. What was difficult for me is that some of the people who I find to be credible were there, but not speaking on behalf of these people. They just were as speakers at this event. Ryan Graves and David Grush, I was told, was also there. So I'm like, damn it, are they giving this credibility? Like
just by being there?
Yeah, or do they co-sign on this shit? You know what I mean? So
I don't know.
Not that matters. I'm just saying, like, it made me like 1% less suspicious, I should say. Having said that, then they showed these x-rays and these photos of inside. They started saying that one of them has eggs in its abdomen.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what? And so they showed this x-rays, and they're legit x-rays. They showed brain tissue, all this, or like whatever.
Sonia.
What? I like
in
that
the chat, Sonia says, I like that one of the little dudes looks like they're giving a besito.
But anyway, somebody in the comments said this is bullshit. They literally have made a paper mache thing and they filled it with bones and organs and shit so it would show up in a CAT scan or an MRI or whatever it is.
I mean, yeah, you could.
Possible.
You could.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why not.
I noticed that, like, guys,
the anatomy is just even for an alien, just a biological creature, it looks, for any biological creature, that anatomy looks weird.
Well, it also, here's the other part. Like, have you ever seen
doesn't make sense.
the preserved mummies from Peru?
Yes.
They look like abstractions of humanity too, and if
Not
it's
totally though, like their anatomy looks like it makes sense for a mummy, you know, like you can still make out the outline of everything and where the joints are, and like it makes sense.
but devil's advocate,
Sure.
if we've never seen what an alien looks like, how would we know what the mummified version should look like?
I mean, fine, but like
Yeah.
it literally looks like somebody was trying to make an approximation
I feel the same way.
of what they think a body should look like, a bipedal body, right? Because that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
got 2 arms, two legs. So it looks like somebody was like, and then the armpits curve like this. Like, I don't know. I can't. And like the face is all weirdly like squished forward. It's just.
The first thing I said when Christian sent this to me is, I'm like, dude, this is probably fake, and I believe that the guys presenting might even believe it's real. But I could see a world
I mean,
where,
obviously that guy believes a lot of things are real
No,
because
no.
he's been wrong before.
well, and what I'm saying is, there's a world where
In a world.
if you're trying to like shut down this whole conversation around UFOs and UAPs and all that,
Yeah.
you get somebody who's desperate to believe,
Yeah.
and you say, hey, I got the real bodies.
And we can show them in front
and
of
we can
people.
show them to you, and you can take this. You just can't use my name, whatever, to get him to. And then if you're like,
To discredit him? You're saying it's like a conspiracy to discredit him and everybody else who believes in aliens
then,
by showing
like,
fake shit?
Like, watch, 3 days from now, there'll be some story saying this guy was exposed as paper mache stuff with like sheep's brains or some shit, whatever.
right,
you
and
know?
then everybody laughs.
And then now, if you bring up UAPs for the next fucking 5 years, they're gonna go, okay, Doctor Mexican
sure,
Professor.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Show me your alien pinatas.
Yeah, okay, alien pinata. Yeah, exactly.
Silver K body, yada, yada, yada,
So-
yada. Show me your alien body, yada, yada, yada.
So stupid, dude. But I'm just saying, like, I think it's fake, but I also think that it sucks that it's fake and that they made a big fuss out of it, and that all these news stations carried it, because the second they can tear this down, they're gonna tear this down and everything even close to it. You know, just when we were close to legitimizing the discussion around it, sucks.
I don't know. I think it's funny, but
It is. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do agree. They look like little fucking.
they look ridiculous.
Bootleg ET toys.
And honestly, if that's what aliens look like, I'm suddenly not scared anymore because,
Well,
bruh,
I'll tell you this.
tell me.
Are
Are you gonna make me scared again?
potentially?
Oh, wow.
The people
That's not the move, dude.
the people who claim to know about like what's really going on and shit like that have always said that the grays, like these little short ones with the big heads, are actually just like AI in
Oh, you've told me
drone
this. Yeah,
type
you've told me
things,
this.
and they're created by this larger mantis race. They've said the mantis.
No, that's it. I'm done.
I know. I'm telling you. I hope, dude. I'm like, please let this be the He-Man Eternia species that I've waited for my whole
Please,
life.
God, no. Okay. Well, anyway, moving along. We're going to be talking about Ahsoka episode 5. So if you have not watched it yet, here is your warning.
Speaking of aliens,
Yeah.
everybody in Star Wars is an alien.
Of the only aliens that I want to talk about, really, or know about. You know, I just noticed that. Sorry, guys. The Frankenstein is on that like naked mannequin head, and it looks really ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry. Anyhow, again, here's your warning. If you haven't seen the latest episode of Ahsoka or any of the episodes of Ahsoka, you should probably tune out now
If you
for the
care.
next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because I'm about to spoil the shit out of everything. So ready? You ready? Okay, here we go. So, last night on Ahsoka, we finally got a little bit more time in the world between worlds, which was indisputably pretty awesome that they even brought it into the live action show. However, what it ended up amounting to was a whole lot of scenes where you're just staring into a void. And that was extremely disappointing.
When was that?
Last night.
Yeah, but when was the void part?
No, it's okay. So if you can kind of see on your screen right now that there's a shot, there's a still from the episode. And at the beginning of the episode, Ahsoka is in the world between worlds, and she's having a conversation with Anakin Skywalker, not as Darth Vader, just as the Anakin as we knew him in Clone Wars. So he's a little bit more lighthearted. He's kind of jokey. Called her Snips.
That was cool.
That made me kind of tear up a little bit because that was, my first introduction to Ahsoka was, in Clone Wars, the Snips. Anyway, the point is, then instead of anything kind of cool happening, you're just staring at this like empty void while they're kind of talking, but not talking about anything terribly meaningful. It was all very like vague. And then they go into this lightsaber battle, which by the way, unnecessary.
What?
I didn't think it was necessary.
No, it was,
I wanted to hear them talk. They have so much to unpack.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
And instead he goes, now let's do a lightsaber duel.
No. First of all, no. You're missing the whole thing. The whole thing. And by the way,
I mean, that's not the worst of the episode. I'm just saying that wasn't like when they in episode 4, when it ends and she's in the world between worlds and Anakin shows up, I'm like, let's go, dude. Finally, she's going to be able to talk to him about everything that went down and like find some kind of closure, because obviously she is damaged by what happened to Anakin turning into Darth Vader and then her leaving the Jedi Order and becoming a rebel, etc., etc. Like that damaged her as a person.
Okay.
And I felt like a lot of it, I mean, if you want to call it like, okay, here we go. You want to call it daddy issues? That's basically what she's dealing with, right? Like her master literally, like everything in her life crumbled. And she was finally going to get a fucking chance to talk to Anakin and like sort it out. We're in the world between worlds. You're in limbo, girl. Like you're probably not totally dead, but you're somewhere in between. And now you get to like talk to, and nothing was accomplished. Nothing. They didn't talk about anything. He just goes into, you have a choice to live or die. And she's like, I'm not going to fight you. And then lightsaber duel.
Yeah, but okay.
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. I heard everything you said.
Okay, go ahead.
So for me, the important thing to consider is that, number one, she doesn't know that if that's actually Anakin, if that's her mind, if that's like what's going on, number one.
Okay.
So it would be weird if suddenly she just thinks, this is Anakin, this is, I gotta talk to him now. She's probably skeptical of it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing to consider is that the whole episode is basically his way of wrapping up their training, at least or at least symbolically. And so in that training, there is like there are broad, lessons, broad statements, not like specific things, more like, what did you learn from this? What did you learn from that? Remember this time we were here. And then the lightsaber battle is just kind of like, let's see where you're at with your ability to hold up against me when I go all dark and rogue and all that, No,
I get the meaning behind why they did it.
It's the It's the downside. I'm with you in that I want more of what you're describing for certain. That's the best thing we could have gotten, is something like you're describing. But it's also like, the downside of a short show, a shorter episode. I mean, it was a longer episode, but still, it's a downside of like short, limited series. I don't get to spend a whole episode like Game of Thrones would have on something like this,
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it I liked the episode.
I think you liked it more than I did too, by the way.
I did. And I did because I did like that we got to see young Ahsoka and we got like some callbacks to the Clone Wars in really cool ways. But there were also some bad Game of Thrones-ish shit that they were doing. Like that whole first scene when it's just dark. It's just them standing in smoke. Like you don't get any cool visuals. Where? You get, it's like that first scene where she's like, she falls through the thing.
When she's young, Ahsoka.
Yeah, and she's young, and then all of a sudden she's like in the midst of a battle. But instead of seeing a cool battle, all you see is smoke.
Okay. Well, I'll give.
I don't know. I felt like it was a little wasted.
That's probably a budget issue, and like
I don't
how they're gonna do the whole.
Shit.
Of course, dude.
I don't believe that.
Of course, and I guarantee you, they're like, you can show, how am I going to show this effect? I thought it worked because it's clearly a reference to Clone Wars and the battles that were happening in Clone Wars in live action. So it should just be, and it's also like this.
I know you're like in a dream state,
dream,
and so
yeah,
I don't know.
Talk about
I just feel like that's very it's a lot of excuses for.
No, you're saying
the choices that were made.
You're saying I wish, or I would rather have seen it, you know, done like all out, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have no expectation of that after all the Disney Plus Star Wars shows. You know, even the ones that I love, you can tell.
I don't know. I feel like we got a lot more with Mando. We got a lot more with.
Not in the first season. In the first season, it was very like careful. It felt smaller. It's the second season.
No way, dude.
The
Are you out of your mind?
Go ahead.
Dude, in the first season, you get the bar with all those cool things happening in the bar, and then he walks out, and you get the ice thing with the big ass creature that kills the dude in the taxi.
You're describing a battle, and a battle would have had like think of Lord of the Rings, like those at that scope. You know, they probably just didn't have
it wasn't completely covered in smoke. It was, you know, like even those battles, you get to see what's going on.
No. I'm saying if they would have removed the smoke, they would have had to show all this stuff they didn't have the money for.
Sure, but like,
it's a show.
I don't.
It's the downside.
I can't.
You know when we're gonna get what you want?
Everything about the show so far has been very stale. Like all the visuals have been very sterile and clinical and like non-imaginative, like just generic and empty. And I don't know if they're doing
like
that on purpose.
World.
No,
it doesn't feel like a full world.
And like if you're right that it's a budget issue, that's a fucking bummer.
Because
goddamn, like we could have done so much. They could have done so much better with the visuals of this. But anyway, that's just a gripe about the visuals. Yeah. I thought the rest of it was really good. I liked seeing her in the dream state. I liked seeing her kind of work. Obviously, her demon was that, you know, she doesn't want to turn out like Anakin. You know, if that's her master, is that what she's like doomed to be, et cetera, et cetera. So I like the fact that she was kind of being forced to work through that. And that's what stopped her from training Sabine, was that she didn't want to go down the same or repeat the same path that happened between her and Anakin.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to break it. I like that. I like that at the end of it, she comes out and she's like Ahsoka the White, you know, she's like back to her younger self attitude. That was really beautiful. I just feel like, I don't know, they made this episode feel a lot more intense than it actually ended up being in story, you know? I don't know.
I'm with you. There's something missing on this show. I'm still enjoying it. It doesn't feel like it's ruining anything, and it'll potentially be the show that kicks off, like what Raph is mentioning, the ability to move away from the Skywalker timeline, you know, like, so potentially like that's what we get, because the world between worlds has to be for some reason, dude.
Right. I know. Yeah. It's okay. I feel like,
but it's, you know what's funny though?
This isn't necessarily what I was expecting from Dave Filoni in terms of a story. Like, this is not as captivating a story as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that now that we are, it looks like next episode we're finally gonna go to that other galaxy and like follow the search and the mission for Ezra / Thrawn. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully that means that the wrap up of the season will be better. Isn't it only like 8 episodes or something? So that means we're already in the end.
Final 3.
the end game. And
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. You know what else is crazy? And I will continue to complain about this until I get it. Where the fuck is Zeb and Callus, bro?
Oh, you know where Zeb is.
It's unacceptable that we have not seen those two characters by the 5th episode.
I called it.
God.
You know what? Remember when I called it?
I remember you calling it, but I don't like that you called it.
No, because I was saying, like, remember it was when they showed up in Mandalorian, when Zeb showed
up from in Mandalorian for exactly 0.2 seconds.
And I go, oh, this is them basically telling you, hey, here's Zeb, enjoy it. He's in the universe.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
He is not going to be in Ahsoka.
But why not?
Because he's probably expensive as fuck to put in the show. He's a full CG character. So I'm trying to tell you. It's a budget thing. Dude, in the first season of Mandalorian, they got the 501st, like the the people who are, you know.
Yeah, but that was the first shot at a Star Wars TV show or like, you know, for the Disney Plus era. So like I can understand why they would be like very picky about the budget, because if it doesn't work out, then, you know,
But
you have another
I'm
Star
telling
Wars
you
failure.
that each one of these shows gets its own budget. Like, so
I
Mando season 1
understand.
doing well, Mando season 2 can have a little bit more money.
Yeah,
But
well,
not Ahsoka.
I still think that the production quality for Mando season 1 is 10 times better than the production quality for this show.
Oh, I agree.
Like 10, and they were using the volume.
Yep.
It's not like it's not like they had all these other things available to them. It's the same setup. It's just choices. Choices are being made. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm over those things. Aside from that, I love Ahsoka. I'm hoping that we continue to get this fun kind of sassy Ahsoka now that has this weight lifted off of her shoulders after her fucking encounter with Anakin.
That would be cool if
I
what
hope
that was.
Yeah, I hope that that's like her thing now. And you know, I liked all like the references to Kanan with Jason being force sensitive.
By the way, did you notice apparently in Hera's in the Ghost?
There's a picture of
Kanan, did you see it?
No, I
It was too
didn't.
small.
I have to like get a still, but I did read about it and I was like, what? How did I miss that?
Yeah, it was tiny.
I was very tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm still on board because, you know, this feels like Rebels season 5 to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not the season 5 of Rebels that I wanted. It's just what I'm getting. And that's disappointing, but whatever, I'll take it.
But I'll say this, and I hate to say this because I feel like this means that my expectations have lowered so much for Star Wars as of recent.
Okay.
As a diehard fan.
Okay.
Is that I'm comforted by saying, well, it's not ruining anything, and that's good. Like, there
But
are
like, how
moments
is that the bright spot? They're not ruining anything.
Because, dude,
Like,
as much as here's who's here, Boba Fett. I love this is Boba Fett
No, I know.
from Book of Boba Fett. Dude, there are moments in that show where I'm like, fuck, you didn't have to do that.
yeah, Boba Fett was a fucking trash fire. That was a really bad show.
Well, there were moments that I'm like, this is amazing. It stands on its own. It could
Yes.
amazing. And then there were episodes where I'm like,
Oh my god, I know. Raph is like, Gabby's hate watching Ahsoka.
Gabby's on. What do they say?
I'm on one.
On one.
I-
that means you're on. What does that mean, by the way?
Like
you're on one.
I'm on one. Like I'm on a roll. Like
Okay.
Like,
Like
I
you're
have
like-
I have it
Yeah.
out for someone.
Got it.
Yeah. I think I should clarify that I speak very passionately as a Cuban woman, and it can sometimes come across as anger, but I'm just very passionate about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
subject. But I'm actually not angry about anything. I'm like stoked to have Star
Yeah.
Wars shows
Yeah,
about stuff
yeah.
that I like. It's just that if we're gonna play this game of like saying things that we don't like, saying things that we do, then
Yeah.
you're gonna hear me kind of like pop off that way. Anyway,
I would just give the show credit because I never cared about Hayden Christensen's portrayal as Anakin. I didn't like
Right.
it, frankly. And in this show, and even in Obi-Wan, like, I really dug how he portrayed the character and how they showed him. So it's doing that for me, and I appreciate the heck out of
Yeah.
that.
by the way, Rich is on my side here, and that's all that matters.
What he said.
He just said Gabby's on point.
All
That's right. He agrees with me.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think Gabby's on point.
Thank you. Anyway, moving along. The iPhone 15 Pro was announced, and they are the new iPhone is going to be able to play new gen games, which is blowing my mind.
This is big news, by the way.
This is really big. I
No,
mean,
the
the
biggest
biggest
news-
news is that they're going to be USB-C chargeable
No,
now.
the biggest news
Tell me.
is that my brother, who has been an Android user forever,
Oh my God,
and ruined
yes.
all of our group chats and ruined all of our family chats.
Yes.
And just has been a real nightmare when it comes to the phones in the family.
Correct.
My brother finally messaged me today. He goes, "Hey,
Thank
are
you.
you getting the new iPhone?" And I go, "Maybe. I have like that upgrade thing. Maybe. I don't know." And he goes, "I'm getting it."
Yes. I know.
So our
it's a
family
moment.
is healing.
We're the universe
Mom,
is
if you're
healing.
watching,
Now your mom is going to switch to an Android just to like balance out the force.
yeah, exactly. No, please, God,
Oh, my
we'll have to
God.
kick her out. Mom, if you're watching, just know that Phil's healing the family with his choices, and we're finally going to get videos that are like fully watchable of our
Yes.
niece. It's just fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic. We don't have to use like Instagram or
Yeah.
WhatsApp anymore.
To text each other.
Oh goodness. Anyway, so the iPhone 15 Pro, it was revealed will have a lineup of AAA games, including native versions of Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil Village, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is the brand new Assassin's Creed.
That's crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
Now, are they saying, when they say native version, what does that mean? Does that mean they've made a version for
Yes,
iPhone?
they've basically
they
ported a version of that game specifically to run on the iPhone software.
So you know what I think about when I hear that? I don't know if you ever played any of the DC fighting games with like DC and Mortal Kombat characters. Mortal Kombat versus
Injustice?
DC?
No.
No. It was just like the DC Mortal Kombat, whatever. Anyway,
well, whatever.
The point is, like all these games they did versions of for the iPhone, it's the same title, same artwork for the cover, and you download and you play it, and it's like the most
Bobo version.
Yeah, it's like tap twice for uppercut, tap 3 times for fatality.
No, I think, yeah, I mean, yes, that has happened before, so there's precedent. But I don't think that's what it's going to be, especially now that you can connect Bluetooth controllers and use, like, they have, what's the name of that thing?
Backbone.
The Backbone. Yeah. Which, if you don't know what Backbone is, it's basically either an Xbox or PlayStation controller that gets, like, hooked onto your phone. So you like actually attach your phone to this controller, and then you can use those controls to play games on your iPhone, which we got it once, and I think we ended up returning it because we really didn't like how it was working. But we do know people who use it and enjoy it for mobile gaming. So if it can work already on current gen phones, that means that we're going to be able to use controllers on the iPhone 15, which is cool. I don't know of anybody who wants to play a video game like that on that tiny ass screen, but I mean, more power to you.
I would, like, in certain situations, like if we went on a plane, like on the plane, like
but imagine playing Resident Evil 4 on that tiny ass little screen. It's hard enough to find things in that game when we're playing on our big ass TV in the living room.
It would be awesome if I could play on the iPad easily like that.
Sonia's like, so it becomes a Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, 100%.
By the way, to prove that not all is rectified in our families, your brother.
My brother continues to be on Android.
Slumming it with a fucking rickety ass phone, like made in wherever they make those phones.
Yes, whatever.
Android Leah.
Yeah, Android Leah. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be getting the iPhone 15. I am woefully behind on iPhones because it doesn't make sense to switch yearly anymore.
I think next one.
I might potentially upgrade to the iPhone 15.
Why?
Maybe because I think by the time that it comes out, I'll have finished paying off my 13.
Oh.
So I might be able to make the jump, and then just wait to the 17 or what. That's so ridiculous. I can't believe we're on iPhone 15. That kind of like
Gabby and I always talk about that there was a time where her and I both, even though we weren't dating or hanging out or anything, we were both so excited whenever there was a new iPhone announcement. Like there was
or any kind of new phone. Just going to the phone store
was fun.
was cool to see like all the new. But there was a time when cell phone technology was going at like such a rapid pace that like every year you got a phone that had 8,000 new features and they were all cooler than the next. And so there was a time when it was fun. Now, who fucking cares?
There was a time when Android phones were pretty good. Like when the iPhone was stuck at the iPhone 4 and 5 era.
Oh, yeah.
And the Android, like the Nexus 5, I think that was the phone I had. That was like...
Oh, yeah. I think my brother had one of those, too. It's so weird.
It had like the good silicone grip on the back native to it.
Right.
Enough with the iPhone with the glass. Put the silicone grip on the body. Stupid.
Anyway. Colt got the mini and everyone makes fun of it, but that shit fits comfy in the pocket.
Let me tell you,
I know a lot of people who feel that way, and it's weird.
I've considered it because I got little ass hands.
Yeah, but I use my phone to watch YouTube and stuff, and like on that tiny screen, my eyeballs are already not working. Anyway.
The iPhone 5 is the best feeling iPhone I ever had.
I loved the iPhone 5, but it still was kind of a tiny screen.
It was small.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving along. Let's talk about Ghostface. I feel like it's important. We should talk about Ghostface. You're carving him right now.
Yeah, we talked about this. Like, we need to like give a little bit more love to the character we're carving.
Yeah. Anyway, so I found this cool article called "Scream: 10 Things You Never Knew About Ghostface." So I figured we would go through this and like see some new fun facts about Ghostface that we may or may not have.
Did you already read this?
Yeah, I did.
And is there anything impressive?
a couple of things. Okay, so for example, white to black. So the original plan for Ghostface was for him to be wearing white robes because he has a ghost face.
Oh.
Yes. They wanted it to like invoke this sort of feeling of like the ghoul and the ghost and like, an actual haunting. But they worried that the aesthetic might cause people to make a connection between the killer and the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, geez.
Because
white robes.
White robes, and so they ended up going with the black, which ends up being the most iconic because that contrast is so intense.
Yeah, the funny thing is the black really makes it kind of menacing because you can't see where his arms are. It's like, just a big black.
He's got stealth, and you don't know who's under there because it's so tent-like.
Dude, look how funny that is. Like random ass shit that made that.
That made those choices. Yeah. And then about the voice. So Ghostface in the Scream films has a very iconic voice.
Roger
Supposedly
Jackson.
It's coming through. It's one, whoever the killer is, and depending on what movie we're talking about, they're talking through a voice modulator and then piping that into a phone. So it's supposedly like a voice that's been modulated. However, there was an actual voice actor used for this voice. So it's not through a modulator.
Is his name Roger Jackson?
Yes, his name is Roger Jackson.
You know how I know that?
Why?
Because the people who work at Funko Games, they just came out with a Scream game, like a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks so fun. Like I haven't tried it yet. We haven't tried it yet, but they worked on it and they hired Roger Jackson to record audio for the audio. And the game, dude, to play the game, he calls your phone.
I know, I love that. I can't we need to get it.
Dude.
And fun fact, Wes Craven never let Roger Jackson meet the actors so that when they actually heard the voice, they would have a real reaction to hearing that voice because they don't know who it is. Man, isn't that really crazy? Cool. Yeah. It's kind of creepy, but I love it.
I love it, dude.
Anyway.
It's the best. Whenever we watch any of those movies and the first call, like even the new one, Scream 6, when for those who haven't seen it, it's so fun. You should watch it.
Yeah.
When the first killer conversation happens, it's kind of unexpected. I mean, you can kind of see it coming, but it's a different take.
Right.
And when it kicks in, I'm like, yeah. It's so funny why I get so hyped.
You get so hyped.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And when he gets upset, he's talking like this the whole time, and then he goes, "Hey, stop being a little shit."
Yeah,
like,
I love that. Like that. It's very Freddy.
I know.
It's like bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway. So funny enough, the look of Ghostface was almost rejected. Early on.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? So in the early days of production, the producer was given some early footage of Ghostface and he didn't really like the look of it. And the producer started to demand that the filmmakers shoot scenes with him in different looks to see if there was one that he liked more than the Ghostface thing. But Craven basically said absolutely fucking not. Finish watching the opening sequence and then tell me if you still don't like the look. And by the time he went through the opening sequence, he was like, never mind, keep it the way it is.
That's awesome.
Which, I mean, that opening sequence, if you know the first Scream, is iconic. Anyway, moving along.
Dude, it's so funny because I went through a phase where the first Scream was when it came out, saw in theaters, my favorite movie at the moment. I was like, oh my God, I love this so good. And then when the sequels came out, I started diminishing it to the point where all I could think about was the Scary Movie version of Scream.
Oh, I think a lot of people,
and so I couldn't see the mask without laughing.
Right.
And then when the new ones came back, like
you were
the
like,
last two, I'm like, damn,
never
it's cool
mind.
again.
It's cool and scary.
It worked, yeah.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So originally Ghostface had no name. He was just the mask killer. That was it. Mm-hmm. No description of the look. When
in the script, you mean?
In the script.
Okay.
When Drew Barrymore gets confronted by the killer, she's the first one who calls him Ghostface. But when Dewey brings the package costume from the store,
Drew Barrymore?
Yes.
She doesn't call him.
I'm sorry, Tatum. Look, in the film, when Tatum is confronted by the killer, she is the first to call him Ghostface. That's not Drew Barrymore. That's
who's Tatum?
What's her name? Rose McGowan. Dewey brings the package costume, and the label refers to the costume as Father Death.
Oh yes.
In the
the
label.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But did you have the info on the actual mask there?
It's gonna come up.
Okay.
It's gonna don't get ahead of me.
It's a great article.
I know you're getting too excited. Take a deep breath. I know that you have kind of like a man crush on Ghostface, but a mí me encanta Ghostface.
A mí me encanta Scream.
Scream. Okay. Keeping the identities under wraps. The whodunit aspect of the film was so well done that it became harder to shock fans with the killer's true identity in the sequels. Yeah. And apparently the script leaked online for part 2.
Dude, I remember this.
Yeah. And so thankfully, even though it had leaked, the identities of the killer were kept secret. Thankfully.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. The leaked script included a fake reveal while the true ending was kept a secret from even the actors until the day of filming.
Cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That's a good move, dude.
My brother spoiled the movie for me.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Why?
He was just being a little fucker. I remember he goes,
What a piece of
he
shit.
goes, he said, it was something like we were on a road trip and he goes, I'm going to tell you who the killer is for Scream. Like, it was when we first started getting to the point where we were old enough to see movies without each other.
Yeah.
You know, and like his friends, my brother.
And he went on his own, found out, and ruined it for you.
I go, don't tell me. Do I want to be supposed to say, no, I'm going to tell you.
Nope,
and
too
he's
bad.
like, don't tell me. It's like, the killer's Billy's mom.
Wow.
And so ever since then, it's been like a thing that I think about when people spoil anything, like the killer's Billy's mom.
The killer's Billy's mom. Anyway, sorry.
At the time, I'm like, who's Billy? Because I was
So weirdly enough, they didn't actually put the Scream or the Ghostface mask on any of the movie posters until the 4th iteration.
Oh shit, good call.
It was, in fact, look behind you. We have
Yeah.
the VHS for Scream. No Ghostface. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So weird. And now I feel like every time that I see one of the films, like the last few films that have come out have all had Ghostface as like on the cover, right? Like on the poster or whatever.
The posters are getting really good.
Yeah, exactly. But until that time, it was never the main image for the series.
This was a template for 90s and early 2000s horror movies where it's like all the young like teens, quote unquote.
Yes.
Stacked up looking at you.
Yes.
Like,
you know what it kind of reminds me of? Oh God, what is the one with the teens that an alien race comes and like puts like a weird, The Faculty.
Oh,
that
yes,
reminds me of the poster for The Faculty.
Faculty is one
God,
of them.
I love The Faculty so much.
I Know What You Did Last Summer has
yes.
one.
They all look like that.
They all look like
teens looking serious.
Yeah. Teens. We bring you teens. All of them 32 years old.
So there's, a lot of people have tried to figure out what inspired the Ghostface mask, like the actual look for the mask. But it turns out it's not just one influence, it's multiple influences. So a lot of people naturally point to a painting by Edward Munch called The Scream, which is the one with the guy like on the a bridge, right? He's like on a bridge.
Yeah, he's on a screaming bridge.
But other sources include the characters on the cover of the Pink Floyd album The Wall, as well as ghostly characters from the Betty Boop cartoon. Interesting.
That's where it came from?
The influences are many.
Oh.
That's what we're trying to say, is that it's not just one thing.
Right.
It's several.
But the mask predates the movie, right?
Correct. Because it was made by, I forget the original.
Costume company.
Yeah,
Fun World.
It was a Fun World?
Yeah,
I thought it was Ruby's.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Ruby's, I think, holds the license to it now.
No.
Right?
No, Fun Worlds does. Trust me.
Then maybe it was Ruby's and Fun World acquired
Yeah.
it? I don't know. I don't remember what the
But it was,
series
I
is.
don't.
But it did exist before the movie.
The original mask is part of a set.
Yes.
And there's like, they're all that ghost face shape. But one of them is that face. One of them is like a happy or like weird face. Like there's multiple faces. That's just the one they ended up picking for the movie.
Right.
And I think, if I remember correctly, and someone in the chat will correct me, that there was like a weird like legal issue when they used it in the movie. I can't remember exactly.
Interesting. So apparently Mrs. Loomis was being foreshadowed as the actual killer. During the iconic opening sequence in the first film, Ghostface asked Casey a trivia question about horror movies. She incorrectly guesses that Jason Voorhees was the killer in Friday the 13th, when in reality it was Jason's mother. And then it's revealed in the second movie that the killer is
Billy
Loomis's mother. Yeah. So apparently they were always heading towards this. I don't know.
Loomis is the reference to Dr. Loomis, obviously.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, it definitely.
I mean, a lot of remember that it's all like an ode to
that's what I'm saying.
horror
Like
films.
that's the reference there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Scream 3's original plan was to make a return of the franchise in Scream. Sorry, Stu was supposed to make a return to the franchise in season 3.
Your favorite.
I mean, Scream 3 season 3.
Isn't Stu your
Yes,
crush?
Matthew Lillard is one of my high school crushes. I know. So why? Apparently he's very nice. Everybody says that they meet him at conventions and he's the nicest dude.
He always looked like an electrified weasel to me.
He does, but I don't know what it is.
Or he reminds me of like the human version of the Miwan honeycomb critter from the commercials. Miwan honeycomb. Remember that?
Yes. The original idea was that Stu is orchestrating a new group of high school ghost faces while in prison. But following the Columbine massacre, the idea of high school killers was changed and Stu's return was axed. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Columbine ruining everything for everybody. Damn. Let's see. And apparently there were a lot of pranks on the set for Scream. Let's see. On the set of Scream 4, the one that they're mentioning here, Wes Craven started an on-set prank in which someone dressed up as Ghostface would pop out in scenes in which Ghostface was not meant to appear and give everybody a scare.
That's really funny.
I do love that idea. Just randomly, not knowing when he's going to pop out.
I love that.
That is cool. Anyway, so there you go. 10 facts we didn't know about Scream.
And an 11th fact that you probably forgot.
Go ahead.
Is the lead track from Scream 4 on the soundtrack
was
sung by Creed.
Oh my God, that's right.
What if?
I forgot.
What if?
What is it again?
What if?
What if? Hey?
What if I think.
Oh.
What if I did stuff?
That's right. I forgot about that. Well, but that was like the height of Creed.
I'm the killer. That should be the lyric. What if Ghostface was nice? What if we just have dinner?
I hate it. I hate all versions.
The rest of the song is just us writing the new lyrics to that song.
I'm all right with that. Okay, moving along from that for a minute. Godzilla comes to Apple TV Plus in the Monarch Legacy of Monsters trailer.
Crazy.
I think it's really crazy. I didn't see the trailer.
Trailer's really good.
Yeah.
It looks like, it doesn't show everything, which is good. And it teases a lot, which is cool. But it just feels like a movie. Like, it doesn't feel like a show.
Well, it says, here's a synopsis. In this epic journey, which follows the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco, and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch Legacy of Monsters tracks two siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. Clues lead them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole to Army Officer Lee Shaw, played by Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, when they're young and old.
Correct.
Cool.
Taking place in the 1950s and half a century later, where Monarch is threatened by what Shaw knows. The dramatic saga, spanning 3 generations, reveals buried secrets and the ways that epic, earth-shattering events can reverberate through our lives.
What I'm really interested in is how they're going to tell the story across that and the movies. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's that show and Godzilla vs. Kong 2, which is coming out next year.
And Godzilla -1.
Yeah, but that's not the same universe.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that is interesting to me, how they pull that off. I think it's awesome. I hope it's good. The idea of new regular Godzilla content. I'm gonna sign up for Apple just for that show.
I think we already have it and we just don't realize it.
Do we?
Probably. Like most people, I'm sure that we signed up for that thing and just forgot to turn it off.
Next segment, deleting apps.
But yeah, exactly. Next show. Peter and Gabby go through all of their subscriptions and cancel them.
You turned into one of our Cuban uncles.
Did I say next show?
Next show.
Sometimes it comes out, dude. I don't know what to tell you. John wants to know if you watched the Gamera show yet.
I haven't watched it yet. I started watching the first episode, and it definitely seems like it requires actual viewing, which I've had no time to just sit and watch something. So I want to actually watch it. It looks like it's heady, like Godzilla Singular Point. I don't know if I'm right about that, but you guys can let us know if you've watched it. And by the way, if you've watched it, did you like it? Anybody watch and see it and dig it? I like the Gamera design. I'm not.
This is the anime on Netflix. Okay.
I'm not 100% obsessed with. Look at that, by the way.
Yeah, it looks
look at
really
dude,
good.
it looks like. This is what you want. You want Apple to buy Star Wars
Yes.
and do the fucking shows with this budget. Look at that.
Yeah, this looks
show.
awesome.
Now, here's what I'm worried about. That scene you just saw is like at the halfway point of the final episode.
Oh, and that it's just going to be a bunch of like boring talking and stuff. I doubt it.
About it.
I doubt it.
I'm worried that it's like a Monster of the Week thing. And then Godzilla only like cameos here and there every episode, like really quick, like a tail, a footprint, and then the last episode or two, then you see Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which is, if that's what it takes to get all these big monsters on TV, I'm fine with it.
Right. Okay. Well, moving along into spooky news. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but apparently Jigsaw was put, because you know there's a new Saw coming out.
Yeah.
And for the Saw X promo, they did Jigsaw doing his impression of Nicole Kidman in the movies.
No
like that.
way.
That
Oh, if they lean into some goofy shit like that.
dude, it's really funny.
This is what I'm talking about.
So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't been to the movies since the pandemic, there's like this reel that plays in AMC theaters, right? It's AMC or Regal. I don't remember.
I think it's AMC.
But Nicole Kidman basically like does this whole thing where she goes to the movies by herself and she's talking about how movies are like, they're so transformative and the heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Like she's just talking about how emotional movies are, and it's become iconic.
It's
like
become the Rickroll of our time.
It has. And so apparently they've gotten to promote Saw X, they got Jigsaw to do like his version of the Nicole Kidman thing. Dude. It is so funny. I wish I could play it for you guys, but obviously they're not gonna let me do that. You would have to hear it. Let me see if it's even here on this page. I believe it's not. Well, you can look it up, but it is extremely funny. He has like his own thing where he talks about how like, you know, movies are better when you have to do self-amputation.
Oh my God.
And like, you know,
this would be
and he goes, it goes, trapped, they make movies better.
Oh my
that
God.
kind of thing.
It's awesome. I feel like I wish they would have discovered this angle sooner. I would love for it to be a little more tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about this with you yesterday, I think, where I said I liked Chucky movies growing up just fine. I thought the sequels were kind of silly until they went
the
full silly. No.
Oh.
Until like
I do like the
Chucky.
silliness, although I don't know how that fits into the actual movies. Like for promotional material, I can see it. However, I don't know how it would work to have that in the movie itself. That being fair, I haven't seen any of the other Saws. I've only seen one.
Yeah. No, look, the problem is it's like...
Man, do we need to watch Saw 2 tonight?
Not tonight. You'll have a bad time.
Is it a bad time?
No, it's just that you're going to have... It's torture stuff.
Yeah, but the first one was torture stuff, and I was like, okay.
Okay, I mean, if you want to watch, I'm down anytime.
I don't know. Chat, tell me, is Saw 2 more messed up than Saw 1? Because I thought it was going to be really, really messed up, and it ended up being very vanilla.
By today's standards, it's not that... Well, first of all, calm down. The first Saw is not vanilla. It's a fun movie. It was ahead of its time.
No, but I meant like in terms of its intensity. Like I was ready to be rocked by the amount of torture porn, and then when I saw it, I'm like, that's it? They cut away when people do anything.
That's why I always talk about the days before and after The Walking Dead on TV.
You're not wrong.
Like that was something that would have been shocking before The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. I believe that. I just don't know if it's something that even number 2 would freak me out.
I thought the first one was actually like a legit good movie too. Like it had a good story and all that.
Yeah.
The second one I still think is good.
I did like the story in the first one. Yeah. Like it was cool.
I'm pretty sure Saw 2 still has a decent story, like a cool ending and all that. I don't remember. You guys have to remind me in the chat.
Okay. Well, anyway. And speaking of cool things to go see in the theaters, apparently The Exorcist is returning to theaters for its 50th anniversary. So if you want to watch that on the big screen, now is your chance.
That's a cool thing to do.
I am actually kind of stoked for this. Like I might go do that because I love The Exorcist.
Me too.
It's one of my favorites.
You're so into that movie.
I like it a lot. I think it's really cool.
It's really good.
And it's one of the first horror movies that I watched as a younger person that sat with me for a while, and I was like, wow, this is a cool way to do horror. Because I think up until that point, the type of horror films that I was watching were not as heady as The Exorcist was. It was a different type of horror movie. It was like, I don't know, like Alien and stuff like that where it's like almost a thriller.
Yeah.
Exorcist wasn't so much a thriller as it was like a mindfuck.
Totally.
So anyway, I think it would be cool in the theaters.
I would watch it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'd be down. John says Saw 1 is more calm and reserved than the violence in 2.
Yes.
He says the needle pit scene. I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds like a bad time. It's okay. I'm down to try it. What's the worst that could happen?
It's a fun movie for sure, but yeah, you got to be in the mood.
Okay, that's fine. Are you done?
I'm gonna print this.
Okay, go. We can talk about some other stuff. Okay, so I pulled up a bunch of trailers for horror TV shows and films that are going to be coming out now in the spooky season. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was Mike Flanagan's Fall of the House of Usher, which is based on an Edgar Allan Poe novel. It looks really cool. It uses a lot of Mike Flanagan's cast of recurring characters. So you've got a lot of the characters that you saw in the Haunting of Hill House, like Rahul Kohli and like a bunch of other, I never remember anybody's name. Like I'm sitting here pretending like I know all of their names.
What's the actress who plays Leela's one?
I never remember. But basically it's an 8-episode limited series based on the works of Edgar Allan Poe. Ruthless siblings Roderick and Madeline Usher have built Fortunato Pharmaceuticals into an empire of wealth, privilege, and power. But past secrets come to light when the heirs to the Usher dynasty start dying at the hands of a mysterious woman from their youth. The trailer looks freaking awesome. I'm telling you, this is one that I'm gonna be interested in watching. The last Mike Flanagan thing was not my favorite. The Midnight Club. Midnight Club like lost me real quick. After maybe 3 episodes, I was sort of over the.
Wait, was it Midnight Club? Or Midnight Mass?
Midnight Mass was incredible, but the Midnight Club is Mike Flanagan too, and not great.
Both midnight.
Yeah, I don't know. Midnight's spooky, but yeah, the trailer looks awesome. I would say check it out. It's gonna be on Netflix. It looks super fun. It's kind of like a revenge story, it looks like, for what I get from the actual trailer, that there's somebody trying to take the whole family down in revenge for something that they did. And the family is full of it's a mishmash of people who are all like different levels of fucked up. And so they kind of deserve
Succession.
it. Yeah, it kind of looks like the horror movie Succession. Yeah. But anyway, or Succession, sorry.
Succession.
Yeah, anyway, so Succession. So go ahead and check that one out. That one looks fun. There's actually, now we were talking about this last week, but there is finally a trailer for the Pet Sematary Bloodlines film, which is supposed to be the prequel to Pet Sematary. And it does look kind of cool.
Yeah.
It really does. Me and Peter were watching it earlier and I'm like, oh, okay, I thought this was going to be hokey, but this actually looks like it's going to be a good time.
It looks like they're trying.
They are definitely trying to make you feel completely creeped out by this area and what's going on in this town. No, it's not a remake. It's a prequel. So it's kind of explaining where all of the spooky stuff comes from, and David Duchovny is in it.
The Duke of Knee.
The Duke of Knee. There was a couple of other people I saw that I was like, oh, I kind of remember that person. But just as a reminder, the plot for this one is it takes place in 1969. A young Judd Crandall has dreams of leaving his hometown of Ludlow, Maine behind, but soon discovers sinister secrets buried within and is forced to confront a dark family history that will forever keep him connected to Ludlow. Banding together, Judd and his childhood friends must fight an ancient evil that has gripped Ludlow since its founding and once unearthed has the power to destroy everything in its path. In the trailer, you kind of see what happens. It's like somebody in the town, I think, dies and gets buried in the pet cemetery and comes back.
Yeah, that's the whole.
And everybody has to kind of deal with this problem.
I mean, that's the same premise as Pet Sematary. It's just this one seems like it's the first time it happens, and maybe we'll find out.
Right, exactly.
Did you ever see the original Pet Sematary?
I did.
Yeah.
And the remake.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Yeah. They're definitely more vibe movies, though.
Oh, absolutely. But
when
most
I was a kid,
Stephen
I was
King
way terrified of seeing that movie.
Yeah, but most Stephen King stuff is a vibe. It's not really like horror.
If Jacob Walsh is still in the chat, he's a big Stephen King guy.
Oh yeah.
And he said, one thing I remember as a kid, I should say, that freaked me out, and the weirdest thing to freak you out is that the fact they spelled cemetery with an S. I'm like, that means something. something scary is happening. And I didn't want to watch it for that reason.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a little kid.
That's so stupid.
I know. And I think I remember reading that Stephen King just randomly picked at the S instead of the C just to make it odd and unnerving.
Like weird.
Yeah.
It always to me struck as something that like a little kid would do by accident.
Yeah.
Like spell cemetery with an S.
I don't know. Jacob, tell me if I'm right about that because.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Jacob's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Jacob.
That was.
You know,
why did you sound so insincere?
You know it's not true, right?
Oh, really?
No, it's a whole thing.
Oh, it's a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not up to date with the jokes. Are you ready to pull that thing?
I'm pretty close.
Okay, because I have my finger on the boom button.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Make that little spoon work.
It's the William Sonoma.
Get William and Sonoma on the phone. They need to get to work.
All right, let's see.
You ready?
No, I'm just looking first.
Oh, look at you covering the camera like a pro.
I need a little bit more juice.
Oh my God. All right, I'm going to another.
Go.
I'd already switched to the
juice.
camera.
No,
okay,
switch
all
back,
right.
switch back.
Well, so there's a new movie coming out called The Satanic Hispanics.
Dude, I love
It's a
sound of
horror
this.
anthology.
We need to see this with the yokais and the
Oh my
shoujos.
God, all of our friends need to come and see this.
All of
yes.
our friends who feel like satanic
I
Hispanics.
know. It hits theaters September 14th, just in time to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, so that's tomorrow. Collecting a who's who of Latin horror directors, the anthology includes segments from Mike Mendez, Demian Rugna, Eduardo Sanchez, Gigi Salguero, and Alejandro Brugues. Brugues?
Sure.
Anyway, each director hails from a unique corner of Latin America, and the anthology has been praised for the diversity of cultures
Alrighty.
that contribute, blah, 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 blah.
Ready?
Oh, there's one from Cuba, too.
Ready?
Dang. Hold on. Okay, go.
Ready?
Yes. Okay.
We need a sound for next
No.
time, by the way.
All right, yeah.
It goes
Like a drum
this.
roll or
It goes
something.
ping.
Oh my God, just pull it already. God. And there it is.
No.
That's all you get.
No, do the right one. Oh, do it again. Do the.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And wait. Now. There you go.
Oh, special effects budget.
It's better than
Oh
what
my God,
Star
the
Wars
bombs are
did.
dropping. There's another bomb we dropped.
Oh.
Oh. Those people in the crowd are horrified. Listen to them scream when the bomb goes off.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No.
What's
One more.
this? What?
The
Okay,
bomb.
ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
John R. Price says we needed the slide whistle sound.
That's
It looks great, my love.
Hey, I like this one.
Wow.
You know what's hard to do is hard to like stylize something when it's already kind of simple.
Yeah, it's like
simplified.
an abstract of something
Well,
else.
yeah, like Ghostface, a very clean design. It's just that it's long, you know, right? And it's like stretching that face. And then the same thing with Michael Myers, just like for block printing,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta get creative. So that's where I started adding these little lines in here to create that shadow effect, to give it a little sense that it's a carving, because this one is pretty clean. But I love it.
I love it. We have
out
to get
there.
one framed for our house.
Yeah, we'll
For
keep
my
one of these.
studio.
We'll keep
Make one frame for my studio.
I think we're gonna keep one of each of these. So
Yeah,
when we said that there's only gonna be 2 made, there's gonna be 3 because I'll keep one.
Because we will keep one. Sorry. Just as a reminder, you will be able to pick this as a giveaway prize if you win during Sunday's big Patreon giveaway. Remember, the rules for that are you have to be signed up to our Patreon by Sunday's watch party.
Do you have the Patreon link up? You can put it up,
It's in
show?
the description box
No,
below.
but I'm saying show the people who may not be aware of the how you do it. You go to patreon.com.
Just click the link in the description
Oh.
box below.
You click the link in the
and it
description
will
box
take
below.
you to our Patreon, and then it will ask you for your money. It's quite simple. I feel like I
Yeah, but
don't
show it because it's cool.
I don't. What, the Patreon
Yeah.
page? Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up.
Meanwhile, let's check it out so you guys
Yeah,
can see.
let's go.
I would pick this one. That's where my hype is right now.
Well,
this one, the Jason.
that's
one.
where our hype is.
Yeah, this
But
one.
I know some people had their eye on the Godzilla. Some
Yeah.
people have had their eye on the Jason. So
I got a lot of
you know.
man. Instagram shat all over my freaking Jason
I
story
know
last time I posted.
that
it.
was very rude.
Sucked.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
If you
Okay,
guys haven't seen that one, go on Instagram. I made a cool little reel with my little snapping finger and the timing.
here you go. Look, if you click on the link below in the description box, you will see that it will take you here and it will ask you to become a patron. There's only one tier right now, which is the ink drop tier, and it automatically enters you into our monthly giveaway. Again, that's happening on Sunday. You're only eligible to receive prints in this giveaway, not carvings.
Yeah.
And then you'll have access to our Patreon exclusive video content and posts, like our watch parties and all of our polls and things that we do on posts. And then, as I mentioned earlier today, there will be access to an exclusive store only for patron members.
Yeah, there's gonna be an item.
Yes, but it is a store.
The store is secret, and the item is
the
even
Patreon
more.
link is in the description. Is not hyperlinked. God damn it!
Ah, B.
Hold on.
Okay, Raph,
I'm gonna put it in the chat. Oh, Raph put it in the chat too. I'll put it in the chat too.
Raph, we didn't know.
I didn't know.
Raph.
No, it's not Raph's fault. It's my fault.
No, I'm saying Raph, we didn't know. Like, as in, like, shit.
Don't worry about it. I'll make sure it's hyperlinked. I'm gonna pin it to the top in case you haven't done it yet. But it's really not that hard. You just put stop it. You just put Patreon, Attack Peter, and Google, and it's the first option.
And Google.
And Google. Also, I think that was it. Also nothing.
Yeah.
Also, I'm done with my updates.
So again, thank you guys for everybody who signed up already. It really means a lot that you guys are excited about the extra stuff. We're having fun. Sunday night, we're gonna have our second watch party. Look forward to that. Comfier seats this time.
What?
Were you comfortable in the last chair that we were sitting in?
I don't remember what I was sitting in
was a
because
dining room
I
chair.
was so medicated from
that's
the kidney infection
That's
that
right.
I don't even remember what my name was that day.
This time we will not be strolling in from the urgent care.
Dude, fingers crossed. Yeah, we're gonna try to be all in one piece this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway,
So
okay.
we did it.
We
Another
did it.
Another show
Yay.
in
Wait,
the bag.
no,
Boom.
that's
There
the
it
one.
is.
Yay!
Yeah, if you haven't yet, go over to Patreon, sign up. It's gonna be a fun one. First giveaway Sunday night, and an item.
An item that we're not going to talk about, but will be available to our Patreon members for sale at the exclusive Patreon.
I'm not
store.
even gonna post about it.
We're not. We're gonna. I'm gonna make the announcement on Patreon for people who are there so that they know that it's coming on Friday. To remind you, I will send a notification through Patreon for it. But that's it. We're not.
And it's only for 24 hours.
Yes.
Good.
It's a timed sale.
Timed.
Yep.
All right, you guys. We love you very much.
Okay. Well, they want to know what time on Sunday. It's going to be
Eastern.
Yeah, same time that we usually do our shows. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to vote for what movie we're going to watch, there is a poll up in Patreon that you can vote for either Doom. What is the other one?
No, it's
Starship Troopers, Doom,
is running away with it. Starship Troopers.
and Predator 2. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up watching Starship Troopers. But in case you want to vote, go over to our Patreon, sign up, and make sure that you vote for Sunday. Even if you're not going to be there, just what would you want to watch later when you rewatch it?
Yeah,
later?
because the content's evergreen. Like if you sign up today and you didn't watch,
you can rewatch it with us later. I'm going to put a timestamp at the bottom of the video so that you can sync it up with your own video and watch along with us.
Yeah.
And pretend, make
Yeah,
believe.
you can go back and watch the Friday the 13th part 4.
John says, I love this secret cult. I do too.
All right, guys. We love you very much.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the outro ready for them. Okay, we love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.